contact. The aggressor in the Cavs Boston game 2 was no doubt it was the Cavs. Not for the entire game. The Cavs beat Boston 118-94. Remember, the Cavs lost game 1 by 25 points, and this was a game that was actually tied up 54 all at half. According to ESPN, the 24-point loss, the 24-point win, I should say, was the biggest in the playoffs by a double-digit underdog since 1991. As a matter of fact, the the Boston Celtics, they were a 13-point favorite in the game. And they lost by 24 points, which gives them an against the spread margin of minus 37. That is the worst against the spread margin for any favorite of 8 points or more in the last 20 years of the NBA playoffs. So, Patrick, this was a huge upset, not only in terms of the betting lines, but also psychologically. I mean, that just was uplifting for the Cavs, but man, that just had to be deflating for Boston for the game to be tied at halftime, and then for them to essentially be a no-show in the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, they tried to shoot themselves out of the fact that they weren't shooting well in the first half, so they shot more threes in the second half. And you know, it's one of those things when you watch this Celtics team, and they'll be better in the next game. They did this in the first round too, where they dropped a game that they had no business dropping. But you know, it's frustrating when you watch a Celtics team that's so good and has so many options, and guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can go do anything they want on the court. If they want to get to the basket, they can get to the basket. If they want to shoot mid-range, they can shoot mid-range. If they anything they want to do, they can do. And they just shoot threes. And they just don't want to work hard. And they just think, oh, no, I'm open. I'll take that. And it's not going. And instead of switching up your game and trying to move around and get to the ball to the basket and do all the different pieces you can do, they didn't do that. Evan Mobley was doing a really good job. They fixed, they changed up what the defense was. And I heard this point brought up too, that the Cavs kind of in a quick switch of series have to change the defense, and they didn't make the adjustments they needed to between Orlando, where Orlando's not a great 3-point shooting team. You wanted to stand off and let them shoot threes a little bit more, to Boston, who's a really good 3-point shooting team. And so you want to get out on them a little bit more. So they had to change that. They did between game 1 and 2. Normally you want Jared Allen back there protecting the rim, though. He's still out with injury, but Evan Mobley, who is a good defender, but, has not been that guy for them this season because Jared Allen really has been, stepped up into that role and was around the rim, got into foul trouble at points, had to come off the court, and you were a little worried the Celtics would come back, but they kept shooting threes. And they just kept shooting them. Instead of driving and forcing them to go and find another rim protector, Tristan Thompson, too, the rebounding for the Celtics. The fact that Tristan Thompson has a meaningful playoff minutes in 2024 is impressive, but he was playing on the boards like it mattered. And that is the last 3 seasons has been non-existent in the league and not doing anything. But with Jared Allen out, they needed another big in the first half. When Mobley went down, he got a little foul trouble, had to go to the bench. They put in a smaller lineup, and the Celtics came back. And in the second half, when Evan Mobley picked up his 4th or his 5th, had to sit back down, they put in Thompson. And when they put in Thompson at that point, he was able to keep bodying guys up in the post, not allow things at the rim, and rebound, which was huge for the Cavs, not allowing Boston to get second chance points after second chance points, which they've been able to do most of the postseason.
Yeah, and Cleveland won the points in the paint, 60-44 as a result of that too.
Yeah,
and you're right. Boston was 8-35 from 3-point range, just ugly. 20, damn near 20, a little bit under 23% from 3-point range, kind of shot themselves out of the game. But the Cavs get a huge win. And the Cavs were still outmatched, but at least the Cavs showed you they can make this somewhat of a series. Donovan Mitchell was great. He only had 6 points at half, but ended up with 16 in the third quarter, 29 overall. He was fantastic for the Cavs. All about superstars in clutch time, and the Cavs, a superstar, definitely stepped up. All right, we're going to